Yeah, the Workman Series was great. I'm an old school agent. I've been licensed since '91. So kind of like Holly was saying, her agent was throw out everything and just start over. That's kind of the realization. I got going, I did well, and you get in a rut. And then I started out before kids, before marriage, so you go through all these different cycles. When I had kids, I had to slow down. It took away time. And so now my kids are a little bit older, more self-sufficient. So it's kind of time for me to revamp. But the Workman Series really, it really helped me to see where I was at and to take a hard look at my business, a hard look at me, what my habits are, what I need to improve on. So it was really helpful. I mean, and it wasn't that hard. So if anyone wants to join it, it's not that hard to do. It takes time, but it's worth it. So, I made a few notes while Holly was speaking and Chris, but the budget, I went through and did my budget and it stressed me out. And I don't like looking at my budget. I just like to make as much as I can and give the check to my wife and not really look at it. So, the budget is something important, something to look at, especially on your advertising, what you're putting money towards, and is anything working? So we did look at that, pull some back, and now we're putting and shifting money towards other things, which is going to help. So we're starting some new programs. I also had to look at my personal time because I do like to take personal time. So I'm cutting back on that and making it work. I'm treating my business like a business instead of, I'm in real estate. You make 2 or 3 closings, woohoo, we can take some time off. But then it's up and down, up and down. So I'm trying to work more regular hours instead of taking a day off in the week or time off in the middle of the day or whatever. So treating my business like a business, like I'm going to work for someone else. I mean, if I would go to work for Tina and show up at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. and then leave at 3, I mean, what kind of employee am I? Speaking on the lead tracker too, Chris, I'm really proud of you. You're doing awesome. And I saw your change during the program. You went from, oh, wow, to aha to implement, and you're doing great.
Thank you very much, sir.
The lead tracker helped me too. It helped me to stay on point, and I had it sitting on my desk. I'm pretty much paperless now, so I did print that out and put it on my desk, and it kept me motivated. It kept me thinking about what I really needed to do in my business. So part of that change was really looking at what I do best and what I need to give up, because I like to hold on to my work, and I like for all my I's to be dotted and T's crossed. So handing my work off to someone else was kind of challenging for me, but the support that Remax gives with, I'm using Denise. So the transaction coordination is helped me a lot, and I've been able to hand off a lot. And she's awesome. She's licensed, so she can do a lot of things that I can't. And she's been in the business longer than me, so I trust what she's doing. But it's allowed me to just hand things off, focus on what I need to do, get my phone calls in, work my business on a schedule. So I really do my follow-ups well. Like Chris is doing his lead tracker. I think part of my business is staying on top of my leads and not going just 3 calls and drop them, but I'll follow my leads for a year, 2 years, and continue to do that. And they drip in like clockwork. Like I have people come back to me every time. I stay on top of my database, and my business is probably 95% referral from my existing database. And so that's helped a lot. I'm focusing more on my listings too, because I'm a super buyer's agent, but that takes up so much time. And I'm handing buyers off, and I'm focusing on listings, focusing on my phone calls, my farming, and my business is starting to, really take off. And I know the more listings you get, the more buyers you get, the more leads you get, it just snowballs. So that's working great. My listings, I have coming soon campaigns that I put together on all my listings where I push it out, social media, I get it out there. And I'm using a service called Listings to Leads, LTL. That helps a lot. So every listing I put out, I do this, and I probably get 10 or 12 responses on each listing that I email out. It's not a great system to capture buyers, but it definitely impresses the sellers. So it helps improve that. And then the sellers will give me better referrals inside the subdivision. I've got one subdivision that I took a listing on about 4 months ago. I sold it. They told their neighbors. I got that listing. It's closing into this month. They told another neighbor. I've got that listing closing the end of this month. So it's like, wow, you really please your sellers, and they're going to brag on you.
Mm-hmm.
So in the ramp class, Lori tracked all of our points on the calls we would do, and Matt would kick all of our butts with all the points he would get in. So it's to Burl's point, the points equal the activities. Matt's doing the activities, so that's what's leading into these huge results.
Thank you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
The lead tracker really made me stay on point. It made me, if you're not cultivating your business, if you're not looking at your leads, if you're not farming and doing these other things, then it's not going to come back to you. It takes a minute to get going, but after it's going, then it's just going to feed you. So it was an aha moment, the workman's success. I'm just kind of reading through my notes, but it made me take a hard look at myself, look at my strengths, pass along business to my VAs, organize my systems. I've always had top producers, so I've always had everything categorized. I've always done regular mailings. But speaking of reviews too, earlier in the call, we talked about getting reviews. That's been big for me. I get 3 or 4 listings or buyers a year out of reviews. Yeah, realtor.com has been a great source for reviews for me. So I get reviews during the transaction. I found that it's very hard for me to secure a review after the transaction's finished. So like at time of contract, and they're super happy. I like to ask for things after I've done something that makes people happy. So when I prove my worth, then I ask for it. So I will ask, and I'll ask 2 or 3 times during the transaction to give me that review, and I'll resend it. And while they're on the phone, hey, did you get that? Hey, I'd really appreciate the review. It does a lot for me. They feel more obligated to give you a review during that transaction, as well as asking for referrals. Because you've got a captive audience. Once it's closed, they're done. They are moving. They're, working on their new life, their new things. So it's much harder. And then your iBuyers that you were referring to, that's not slowed me down a bit. iBuyers to me is just cleaning up the trash. I mean, they're bottom feeders. They're getting the low price listings. Those listings would have been hard to sell anyway. And the buyers or the sellers, I don't know. If we would have got them, great. But I think that the iBuyers, the Mark Spains, the other people that are asking for cash deals, the sellers have finally figured out, I'm going to make a ton more money if I do a traditional listing with a regular realtor, and they're not doing the cash sales as much. So for me, it's not slowed me down a bit. But I'm really happy with,
Interesting to see, sorry, it'll be interesting to see what the report is on the iBuyers for the third quarter. But I just think it's so important because they market so strongly to communicate with the people that know, like, and trust you, that this isn't, there's a sacrifice for the convenience, especially in this market with how quickly listings are selling. So I still think that they're able to take advantage of that in many ways. And Holly had a client recently that talked about, when he's reaching out to the people that know, like, and trust him, it's all about protecting them in the market. It's protecting them, making sure they're getting the most out of their investment. So I think it helps to keep that mindset. And there's always going to be competitors. There always is. It's just focusing on what you can do and the people you can touch and help.
yeah, and I think the iBuyer is probably taking away from more of the investors. It's probably helping our foreclosure ratings to be low. So, I mean, in all, it's kind of healthy for the market for these people to be taking it. But they do put it back out there for new listings. So we're having inventory come back. But yeah, I'm super happy with RE/MAX Center, with all the assistants that we've had. Lori's done a great job with Workman and implementing that. And, there's a lot to offer. I'm super happy with RE/MAX Center. Great place to work.
Well, thank you, Matt.